pile of shit. That is an interesting point.
Wait, what was the point? I missed it. The gold in the shit. What was it?
So I said he may have accidentally stumbled onto something that is worth discussing, and that is, what do we do when those who despise our values and want to destroy them use our values in order to enter the system and then systematically take the system apart? You see that happening quite a bit, whether it's in Europe, with the influx of people who actually hate liberal society, nevertheless running for office, and then once in office, taking the liberal society apart. Or in the United States, we see it with Montano, who it's really clear despises our.
But El Normo, he's not taking the liberal society apart. He's expanding the liberal society. So if you think expanding it is destroying it, well then, maybe our definitions of destruction versus expansion are different, but it's theft. And the one way to fight it is through lawsuits and the federal government stepping in and the Department of
Nice
Justice
to see how he ran
filing
this.
lawsuits. And if they're not filing lawsuits, well, then they need to use the law to make arrests and file charges for theft. And it's that simple.
What
They need
what theft,
willpower to
what
do it.
theft are you talking about?
They're stealing
And I
from
mean, what?
pensions. All this grant money, the money they're borrowing from Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, I'm talking about the mayors of sanctuary cities. This is theft. They're stealing from workers that have paid into pensions, which are completely underfunded, and they are spending hundreds and billions of dollars on tax credits, on grants, on DEI, CRT, BLM, LGBTQ, transgender mutilation. They are stealing from the pensioners and from the retirees to fund their social woke justice program.
Oh, okay, I'll see where you're going. Yeah. Hey, Pat, a while ago you was asking me, or you commented that other countries can amend their constitutions, and that's probably true, and I'm not flown in all the nuances of every constitution that you might be referring to. But one of the things that's unique, I think, about ours is that it puts into place um, certain brakes on the system that kind of cools the reflexes of passions of a particular space and time or ideology that may not be beneficial, and forces you to look at it a little more carefully before you make the changes. I think that's in that way. For instance, like the amendment process, it's possible to change the U.S. Constitution, but there has to be a concerted agreement in the Congress. There has to be a concerted agreement within the states. There has to be a broad agreement that, yeah, this is the way we want this to go. And I would say it is for that very reason that they put it in, that they didn't want people to fall victim to the passions of their time and do something irrational that would be detrimental to the nation. That's my take on it.
Okay, so the only reason I was disagreeing with what you said about the United States Constitution being the best piece of legislature in modern democratic times is because I've always like posed this challenge to myself: if I couldn't live in America, what country would I live in? And I have dual citizenship in Europe, but I choose not to live in just because I don't think that there is a lot of movement between classes. There's not as much upward mobility. I mean, granted, there's minimal downward mobility in European society. Whatever class you're born into, you're going to stay in that. That's very least. But you can't. It's much harder. I think a good balance between America's unbridled capitalism and Europeans' social netting. I like Australia a lot, and I think they have a pretty good constitution. However, if I had the choice to live wherever, like my home country being included, if America was still on the list, I would always choose America over Australia. And the thing that I love about this country the most is states' rights, where the states will put up.
you're in the matrix, Pat.
all the time, and us is the greatest country in the world, which I'm so happy about this World Cup. With all these Europeans coming over that mocked us and shit on us. And, they're having a great time. They're seeing like America should be 8 different countries. We should speak 3 or 4 different languages. It's crazy how we keep it all together, and I think states' rights are the things that does that, not the federal government. So, yeah.
You know, Pat, Scott, he could articulate this better than me because I think he has a much better understanding of it, about the different regions and how they were settled and how they evolved and what we get from them. You know what I'm talking about, Scott? You talked about this the other day. I guess Scott's not there. He had some really good insights into that about the different people and cultures that settled in different regions and how it gave us regional, kind of like flavors to the country.
Hello? I just want to address something about who's more anti-Semitic, the left or the right, if I may.
Go ahead.
So on the right, you have Dan Bilzerian, a hardcore extremist Nazi who, on his X account for years now, has been posting the most vile anti-Semitic Jew hate and tropes and racist content you could possibly imagine. And he's running against Representative Fine, an Orthodox or conservative Jew who believes in safety and security, and he's an anti-terrorist. But Dan Bilzerian is pro-terrorist. He wears the what is that? The scarf, the black and white checkered one or the red one. He meets with Muslim Brotherhood agents in Qatar or in Abu Dhabi, and he is being embraced by a lot of what you could call America Firsters, who really are unaware of the content that he creates. He is just this America First candidate, sick of funding Israel, sick of supporting the J words. And so if you want to say he is the right wing, which he really is not, though, I mean, in terms of like the Republican Party is in many ways Zionist. And so you have that. Then you go on the far left, and you have the A's and the Mamdanis, and the Rashida Tlaibs and a dozen other bad actors that are couched in this restorative justice, DEI, CRT, BLM, LGBTQ pluralism, and they are supposedly not anti-Semitic, but they're anti-Zionism, they're anti-Israel funding, and so
Congressman, can I ask you a question, Congressman?
I'm a mayoral candidate now, my #1 campaign funder. How are you, JB?
Living my best life. You said they're unaware of this person's, I guess, ideologies. Let me ask you, do you honestly think they would even give 2 fucks, even if they knew? Most MAGA, most Republicans are closeted anti-Semites, in my opinion.
Well, if we went to the LGBTQ parade 2 days ago and we did a survey, you would be shocked at how much anti-Semitism there is on the far left, and all you have to do is have a conversation, and they just slip it into conversation. Oh, that's very Jewish.
Mr. Mayor, I'm in New York City. I'm very well of the far left anti-Semitism.
Well, when I say that they're unaware that Dan Bilzerian has posted a tremendous amount of Jew hate, if it was presented to them, they would say, "Oh shit, that's pretty racist and pretty fucking mean and radical and cruel and full of hate." They might say that, but they don't see it because it gets buried. And when I have 27,000 posts on one X account. I have 150,000 videos on YouTube. Go ahead and find some disparaging content that I've created. You'll never find it. And plus, I very rarely have ever said anything racist on this app. And so I'm just saying that if Dan Bilzerian, if you were to examine his account, it would shock you to the core. The man is a verified hardcore Nazi. And every chance.
Bill Maher talked about a quote from his social media where he says, the only real battle in the world today that I see worth fighting is fucking, exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow and go fucking put boots on the ground and go fucking kill Israelis. Dan Bilzerian, Republican congressional candidate.
Yeah, he should be rebuked by Speaker Johnson.
Let me just finish this, John. Listen, I'm no Trump supporter. Everybody knows my stance on Trump. He's done some good things, some more bad things. But God bless Donald Trump that he is pro-Israel, pro-Jew. Because if he wasn't, that party would be running rampant with anti-Semitism.
You might be right. You might be wrong. But you voted for Kamala Harris, not our lion in the office defending America and Israel from the far left progressives that are communist socialist thieves. JB, I was speaking earlier about how the liberal neo-pluralists are nothing but thieves. They are borrowing and spending against pensions and against the future security of all of our major cities. These are radical communist domestic terrorists, and the Department of Justice, the criminal and fraud investigations need to happen. Mayor Brandon Johnson, Mamdani, should be charged and arrested by the federal government.
Who's leading this? I'm being facetious here. Who's leading this charge with Mamdani? Who are his base? I would say young 20-something-year-olds who have no fucking clue, can't do a job. They identify as rabbits and dogs and cats and all this other bullshit. And you know what? This guy's gonna be a 2-term, 3-term mayor, and New York's gonna go to fucking hell. Unfortunately, my brother Norm is gonna be here, and I'll be gone.
I'll be here to bring it back. 1 in 10 Mamdani voters said they were also Trump supporters.
Oh, that's interesting. By the way, I may have to leave because why I modded you, Steve. I hope you don't mind. Don't mod anybody else. Thank you. A couple of interesting thoughts. Number one, I was listening to somebody describe China there were in a country of 500 million, and this is going back to the 30s, there were 30,000 communists, no more. There were more communists in Finland, in Italy, there were more communists in the United States of America than there were in China, and yet China turned communist. And I think the insight here is how few people it takes to overwhelm a political entity and change it dramatically into something horrible like communist China. That's the question. And as you pointed out before, Scott, Mamdani did it with a real scant minority of the votes. 17%, I think you pointed out in the primary. Maybe 10% of New Yorkers in the actual mayoral. He said he got 1 million votes, and we know there's something between 8 and 10 million New Yorkers. So it doesn't take a lot of people to transform society into something nightmarish.
It didn't take much in Nazi Germany.
Exactly right.
I mean, it will be interesting, Norm, I think. Again, as the commentary guy said, the Democratic Party is often so sort of milk toasty and flip floppy. And well, what do we really stand for? Are we really for universal health care? Are we really for this? Are we for that? And I think, some of these DSA folks, they'll tell you exactly what they're for and what they're against. And I wonder if that clarity will push the party left. And that could be a good thing. Look, I think Bernie Sanders, one of the good things about Bernie Sanders, among many things, is that he got the healthcare discussion going in a more universal direction.
Scott,
On the Democratic Party, right? He put that on the radar. As far as you have to have a position on this, you have to think about it.
Scott, how can liberal progressives endorse universal health care when healthcare executives make $1 million easy, when it's all about the billing? I mean, Scott, this universal health care claim is a scam and a fraud to enrich healthcare executives and corporations.
John, I'm not endorsing a particular way to get to universal coverage. I think you can do it lots of different ways, right? Lots of industrialized nations have achieved this goal without private health insurance. Some have used private health insurance. Some treat insurance like a public utility that's heavily regulated. I don't think there's one answer.
Scott, we have to get the money out of it. We got to lower it to $2 trillion a year, not $4 trillion. We can't let this ruthless profiteering take place when the country's $40 trillion in debt. It's not a fucking human right to have care and to enrich doctors and healthcare executives. It's a fucking scam, Scott. Call it for what it is.
Scott, you said something.
Call it for what it is. The fucking scam.
What's the identity? Most people, and you and I both know that most of society is stupid, dummies. They follow the crowd. If you tell somebody Republican, automatically they assume he's MAGA, him or she, him or her, even if they're not. You say Republican, oh, they must be MAGA. There's no identity for the Democratic Party. But I tell you what's going on. The DSA is slowly taking over that party, and that's going to be the identity. Mark my words.
Yeah, one of the problems is that I think people, when they become passionate about anything, tend not to think it through really well. And they just see what's in front of their face, and they don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the long-term effect of what they're advocating for. It's very reactionary, I think, in a lot of ways. Time I've spent on city councils, I see it with people, and it's almost like an educational program you have to go through with people and explain to them the nuances of what they're talking about. And in that process, a lot of times you can see the light go off in their eyes, like, well, maybe I'm not so sure about what I'm saying. But I think we have that occurring on a national level right now too, and it's very disconcerting.
Steve, it's so good to see you. Sorry, Scott. So good to see you. But, and I'm asking a serious question to Steve, Scott, to John. When did we, as a society, Americans specifically, become so oblivious and dumb to what politicians are saying and what they're doing? Trump will say one thing, do something else, and people still love him. Same thing with AOC. She's a fucking ding-a-ling dummy, and no matter what she says, people love her. I'm just curious, when do we as a society make that turn?
Well, I mean, it's team sports stuff too, JB, right? I mean, on one level, it's so what my team does sometimes is, right, you look at how Democrats used to have a higher view of Russia, a more positive view of Russia than Republicans did. Then Trump got associated with Russia. Then they went more negative, and Republicans had a more positive view. You look at the NFL with Cohen, and Neil and Kirkpatrick, whatever. Republicans used to have a more positive view of the NFL. Then with the kneeling, you went to the Democrats. It's just people follow team sports to some degree. The war in Iran is I think the real barometer of this, right? I mean, I think you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, Tucker Carlson. Again, I'm not necessarily agreeing or disagreeing with these people. Said, look, we supported Trump because he was against these kind of measures, and then a bunch of people were like, well, it's different if Trump does it, right? I mean, like, that's got a J.D. Vance answer. What's your team this in Iraq? What's different if Trump's there's 100,000 Democratic Socialists. They're 0.2. If they all joined the party, it would be 0.0002 or something. 0.002%. I actually think the average Democrat is closer to my senator, John Fetterman, than they are to any of the TSA from this way. I think that I don't think it's nearly as liberal as the TSA was. Nor do I think the gravitation is. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just don't think the party has that much of a progressive bent.
We are following breaking news of a deadly shooting in River North.
Let's get straight over to St. Quad to figure out.
You don't have an identity. So, as human beings, we just look at it, oh, she's pretty, she's a good candidate. Don't give a fuck about their policies. If you look at AOC, right? Hot shit. Speech well. She's the identity of the Democratic Party. I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing, you did see what if Iran. They're not careful, man. Iran's going to turn into this generation's dead now.
Well, Iran has a million person army. That's not so.
Yeah, but, one of the things you gotta have if you're gonna fight, you gotta have you got a million guys coming down the street, they don't have any air cover, the other guy dominates the sky. It doesn't take VJs to break out that million man army.
Steve, respectfully, in order to fight a war, you have to have an exit strategy. Trump doesn't have an exit strategy. Every other day, he's like, peace deal with this, that. Yeah, we're still there. The street was still closed. I'm still paying $5 a gallon of gas. So, he went in blind. He got bad intelligence from Israelis. And there's no end in sight of this thing. I think it's going to go on for quite a while.
Well, I think a lot of the thinking was that they could inflict enough damage on the leadership, and they seen all this uproar in the society that the people in the streets would create enough turmoil inside the country to create a political change.
Yeah, but if you eliminate the leadership, pardon me for cutting you off, but if you eliminate the leadership, have you eliminated the ideology?
Well, probably not in the sector that you're referring to, but you got to ask yourself, how pervasive inside that government, and what percentage of the people in the country subscribe to that ideology, and the people in the country, their currencies values went to crap as their lives become harder and harder, and they don't associate with the ideology. Inevitably, that leads to turmoil, which leads to instability in the leadership, does it not?
Steve, is it moral to flood the country with weapons? Because we gave a ton of weapons to the Kurds, I believe, and they didn't do any kind of incursion or even start a fight. And Trump claims that 60% of the population in Iran is in a military uniform. So people in the streets without guns and hand grenades can't accomplish shit against people with fucking machine guns. So if we're serious about regime change, what was that, Steve? Go ahead.
John, I think that was the biggest strategic blunder of the whole endeavor here, is that they should have used the northern part of Iran before they ever started striking Iran to smuggle in weapons to the populace, so that when they start hitting them with these missiles and the Air Force, and there was chaos within leadership, then the people would have had something to come out and fight with. That to me was the biggest strategic blunder of the whole thing.
Well, JB was saying we have no exit plan, and I would just say that all war is really just, like Chairman Mao said, the tip of the barrel rifle is the extension of your political position and power. So this was a war in the making for many years, and I don't know if you saw what Pete Hegseth said to Elizabeth Warren as she kept accusing him of investing in weapons manufacturers. he was saying that we had to keep all of this a secret from you and from your party and from anyone associated with you because, you know, loose lips sink ships. And this was a surprise event. And at 2:30 in the morning, when the president comes on TV, that almost like scared me in the sense that, oh my God, this is all hasty, you know? Like, this is unprepared. This is not prepared for. I don't care if it's deliberated, but I want to make sure before they plunge us into a global war that we are prepared to deal with it effectively and efficiently. And I mean, so far, in my opinion, I'm satisfied with the work that the military has done in Venezuela, in Iran, and elsewhere, because it's not the bullshit LGBTQ, trans rainbow military anymore. And we have a real warrior in the White House and a real warrior at the Pentagon who aren't going to play these fucking long game linguistic spam games with the linguistic spammers in our lives. So, anyways, that's all I'm saying.
John, we still don't have a strategy for Iran. I think the only way we win in Iran is if we send in troops, unfortunately, which I can see Trump doing, even though he said he never would. And like Steve said, I agree with that point that he overplayed his hand thinking that Iranian people were going to rise up. He sent armaments to the Kurds who said, fuck you, we're keeping it, we'll sell it, we'll keep the money. So there was no strategy, there's no exit strategy, and this is going to drag on for quite a while. And unless he sends in troops, which I can actually see him doing.
I don't think he'll send in troops. And listen, the strategy is no strategy. And the fact is, this was a can of worms that had to be opened. And thank God Trump pulled the trigger. And if it was Kamala Harris, we all know she wouldn't have done shit. She would have just kept with the Obama deal while the Obama Tower of Lies and Propaganda is erected in Hyde Park, Chicago, where he stole $300 million in taxpayer funds from the citizens of Chicago to build his fucking landscaping. His landscaping was $300 million with the roads and the trees and the shrubbery. He stole that money from the pensioners of Chicago. Look it up. $300 million we gave that fucking rat for his fucking landscaping. He's a thief. He should be arrested and charged with sabotage, charged with espionage. He's a fucking CIA stooge. There's things you can't even say about him because it's considered abuse, harassment, and he should be arrested. He's a war criminal. He's a vaccine criminal, and he's one of the worst Americans this country has ever created because he's artificial. He's a CIA agent, and his husband is a CIA agent. And John Brennan right now is suing the federal government to protect his secrets because he also is an espionage saboteur. We've got real traitors in the government, real traitors that need to be arrested and tried with war crimes and not assassinated, executed publicly. Public executions in the same way they do it in every other country in the world, except here where we house mass murderers at $200,000 a year in the federal prisons. Mass murderers of the worst crimes imaginable. Execute. That's the mantra. That's my 2027 buzzword for the city of Chicago. Execute.
Well, one thing with the war in Iran that just astounds me, and I understand it from a political point of view. You're trying to make political points, but any military endeavor you engage in is going to have, and with Iran, obviously one of the potential costs was going to be a disruption of the wall through the Strait of Hormuz. So that was a given going in, and if gas, if it goes up $1 a gallon, yeah, that's a cost to doing this. But the basic fundamental question that before you get to that point, I don't think a lot of people ask themselves is this endeavor worth the cost. And if you say it is, then you gotta live with it, and you gotta see it through. But we want to just be so flippant back and forth about, what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and please don't disrupt my life in any way. Well, sometimes things do. Sometimes hard things
Well,
are.
Steve, but let me ask you, up to this point, what do you think the cost has been?
I'm sorry, JB, could you repeat that?
I apologize. Up to this point, in your opinion, what do you think the cost has been? What does it cost Americans up to this point?
Well, obviously, you got the upfront cost of the missiles. You got the cost of having the fleet there and all the associated logistics that go with that. And then you have the cost of the disruption of fuel. So you got the overhead of the military and the weapons that was used there that obviously is going to have to be replaced. And some, Tomahawk missiles, they're not cheap. And then, like I say, this disruption of the oil flow created higher gas prices, and by extension, you get inflation off that. So there's the two big items I see, JP.
I just want to say one more thing about Obama and his tower of lies and propaganda. George Bush was there at the Obama building inauguration. He took a photo with Michelle Obama where they held up a can of Altoids, the mint candy, and they're giggling and laughing. And why is it that George Bush, a Republican who many people think is a war criminal, is giggling and smiling with Michelle with the Altoids? Because they create these viral little candy moments where she gives him candy and he giggles, and then the media spreads the image of them getting along. And so if there is this supposed opposition between Republicans and Democrats, and it's not a uniparty, that's all you need to know about who Michelle and Barack are. They are George Bush's experiment. It's 100% a fact that Obama was picked and chosen and cultivated in an inorganic, inauthentic way. And that's why I say he's a war criminal and he's a vaccine criminal. He promoted the COVID-19 Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Zav with every major celebrity. With Fauci, he wore the mask. He created countless videos telling everyone that we have to stop the spread, that it will shut down everything forever. We will all perish, and you'll never see your grandma on Thanksgiving. So that type of fear-mongering, lies, and propaganda that he created, Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Fauci, Dr. Birx, Bourla, and 100 other COVID-19 big pharma scammers, they all need to be arrested. The Department of Justice, criminal fraud investigations, we don't need the investigations. We already know that it's a fraud and a scam. And people are still saying, we need to investigate Rand Paul. Not Rand Paul, Dr. Fauci. We already know what Dr. Fauci has done. Arrest the man, send the marshals, send the Secret Service, send the local police, wherever he's at. Arrest the man and bring him in.
Send the marshal away.
He's got the cheetah jacket, and he's stealthy. But sometimes, anyways, the question...
That was funny, too, Marshall. I had to come out and laugh.
That was a good one.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Steve. How are you? Hello, everybody else. Even you, JB. Good morning.
Fuck you.
Damn!
He's a hater. Who cares?
Yeah, Joe B, he's my #1 donor, though, so when he's saying F you...
You're a habitual liar who can never tell the truth. You're one of the reasons that this fucking happens, God. People like you.
Projection
Okay,
says
so
what?
All right, I'll go down. I don't need to sit up here next to you. Makes me kind of want to puke. I'm not going down, but I could.
Projection
You
says
made me
what?
JB. Puke.
Yeah, well...
It's ad hominem projection,
let's
JB.
try and be decent to each other.
Steve, he's a rip-off artist. I can prove it.
Well,
Prove it. Prove it.
ad hominem projection works both ways. Let's just refrain from any accusations or ad hominem for at least 10 minutes. We don't need to make it the JBJO show when we can make it The Marshall Stankin Rankin Show.
Thank you. I do agree.
No, don't insult Marshall, and let's not insult people in here either, and let's not make accusations. I know JB, he's a good guy.
Hey, John, what's your deal with Marshall? I seen you had a room the other day about that. I'm just curious.
Well, he just repeats three things on this app every day. One is that Trump is a bully, a tyrant, and retarded and stupid. And then he says Stephen Miller is a wizard, warlord, evil, sick demon. And this guy is supposedly a Republican door knocker. And then he goes on to talking about ballot harvesting at locations where there's 15 ballots and people don't live there anymore. And he's working for this communist female, fake Republican. It's politics, Steve. If he wants to play the political game, create his political content on here in the Gary Bumgarden show every day, well, I'll be political too, and I'll just counteract his fucking lies and propaganda. He's a know-it-all, and I'll admit, the guy does know a lot. But anybody who wears a cheetah jacket from the thrift store and doesn't get it dry cleaned, and has got smudges on his glasses, well, son, we gotta get you to the gym, and you gotta start reading books again.
What's up, Rabbi?
How's it going? What's happening? We need a center. Who are we gonna get to be our backup center?
I have no idea, bro. But, man, what an incredible month.
Incredible. Unbelievable. I mean, I was so happy. I'm still happy.
Bro, I watch every video that pops up on my algorithm about them. Everyone.
You guys talking about the Knicks?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although I think the Sixers are gonna be fucking amazing this year.
Nah, they'll be flopping around.
I think there's a chance they get LeBron. Small one.
I think LeBron's going back to the South Beach.
Really? Yeah.
He's going to play with Giannis.
He hasn't retired yet?
Why would he
The
retire?
Lakers.
Why would he retire? He's going to make probably another $75 million over the next couple of years.
That's right.
Marshall Rankin, we were just talking about you. Come to the stage.
Welcome, Marshall.
All right, Scott. I have a read on the question of the room. Oh, yours on the phone. Scott, you on the phone?
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I think.
Who was talking about me and why?
Joe B was saying you had a small packer.
So I think.
Hold on. So I got texted about
Hey,
that.
Don't insult Marshall.
Why are you talking shit? Jody, you can hear me.
They're looking for fresh meat, Marshall. Go ahead.
No,
He's busy, Marshall, doing chemotherapy.
Okay, well, I'll be back in a little bit. If you want to talk shit, just talk it to my face. Don't talk it behind my back.
Exactly, Marshall.
I'll be back in just a minute. Thanks.
Now that Marshall's gone, I could say some more shit about Stankin Rankin. He also believes in open borders. Marshall he can't even actually determine what a border is. The guy is a Democrat plant. We all know it, and he's got sugar in his tank. Scott, can you confirm that your gaydar goes up sometimes when you hear Marshall, like, really let it out?
That's low blood.
So many Christians are into open. So many of the Catholics are into open borders. I don't know why we're picking on this one particular Christian.
Well, Marshall Stankin Rankin has made it a career here. He's on here as much as John Kitover, and no one can possibly be here on this app as much as me without having a job. Hello?
You don't do something about this? He follows me from room to room and does this. It's annoying as shit. I think he has rooms about you. Room titles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's called the Marshall Stankin Rankin Show. Listen to Marshall crash out. Hello?
Come on. Okay, John, come on.
All right.
Have a dialogue. He doesn't want to have a dialogue, and I don't want to talk to him. I just want him gone. He does this shit all the time.
I want him gone, so get rid of him. Marshall said, get rid of him,
Yes,
so you got to do what I say.
Get rid of, then talk to you. You're You're annoying as shit.
Projection says what?
Here, if y'all get rid of him, please.
Projection says what?
How you doing today, Marshall?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about you, Steve?
Still recovering. I got to go back to the hospital. I don't know if I maybe got blood clots forming. I'm going to have to go get an ultrasound today.
Well, I'll be praying for you, Steve. I hope you feel.
Clots in your legs, prop them up. Are you working on that?
Yeah, I had a gallbladder surgery, and then a few days after the surgery, just out of the blue, my one leg is, my right leg started having all kind of problems with it. I thought, well, maybe I just pulled a muscle or something, but then it just become more and more persistent, and I started doing some research on it, and it said the nature of the surgery that sometimes it can, something about deep vein
Thrombosis. Yeah, don't take a long plane ride.
Yeah, and so after looking into that and the persistent pain at a very high level, I think I'm going to go in and try and ultrasound's the best diagnosis.
Exactly, right.
So I'm going to go in and get ultrasound of it and make sure, because if the blood clot breaks free, it goes to your lungs.
Or your heart.
So there's that. We're just having fun. Like the old saying, you just get on the bus and you ride it until it stops.
When you use the word I, I've been very interested in this problem for a long, long time.
Has Speaker Johnson or Stephen Miller reached out to your congressional boss, Marshall? Because you were saying some pretty nasty things about Stephen Miller that I'm sure the administration doesn't appreciate.
And I've come to the conclusion civilized people mean by that word is a hallucination. That is to say, a false sense of personal identity that is at complete variance with the facts of nature. And as a result of having a false sense of identity, we act in a way that is inappropriate to our
cards. Somebody sent me a greeting card. No, I'm just looking at the length of the Zoom stuff. Although maybe they're pictures. They look like greeting cards.
Hello? Well,
So what's the consensus? Is it the left or the right?
well, Moose, do you think Israel is a Zionist genocidal country? You tell us.
I'm not talking.
Oh,
Hello? Oh, the liberal progressive.
Yeah, my last year in teaching, I took a form like that, and it said anyone who can, it's fifth grade class, anyone who can dial their house or their parent, I think I used, will get a free homework pass. No one was able to figure out how to use the phone.
Wow. Well, that's kind of the problem.
I'm gonna go down because I have JB locked for life, and I don't want to kill the combo. Y'all have a great day. I'll be back if Steve's gone.
I don't think he's here, but
I was gonna say Moose has so much brain rot. I'd be willing to bet that he probably actually wouldn't be able to use a rotary phone successfully.
Hey, Caleb, did you look at the,
I did.
Oh, sure did.
How do you know what he's gonna say?
Because he does. I watched it.
Watch what?
That man does not like Jews. Neither one of you guys. Right?
And when that inappropriate way of action swiftly begin to see the results of a profound discord between man and nature. As is well known, we are now in the process of destroying our environment as a result of an attempt to conquer it and master it. And we have not realized, therefore, that our environment is not something other than ourselves. In assuming that it is, we have made a great mistake and are now paying the price for it. But most people would agree with the lines of the poet who said, "I, a stranger and afraid, in a world I never made." Because we have the strong sensation that our own being inside our skin is extremely different from the world outside our skin. And while there may be intelligence inside human skins, and while there may be values and loving feelings, outside the skin is a world of mechanical process which does not give a damn about any individual, and which is basically unintelligent, being gyrations of blind force. And so far as the merely biological world is concerned, gyrations of libido, which is Freud's word for blind lust. There are many people who say they don't believe that the world is like that, but under the control of a wise, just, and beneficent God. Although many people say that they believe that to be the case, very few people in fact believe that to be the case. A great many people believe that they ought to believe in God, but they don't. Actually, because the idea of God as handed down in popular Christianity and Judaism and Islam has become implausible to most educated people. They would love to believe it, but they can't. And what has become the common sense of the average person is the avant-garde thinking of the 18th and 19th centuries of the West, which is the mechanical universe, and most of them have not even caught up in their common sense with the universe of modern physics, because we think about the world in Newtonian categories, and not so much in the categories of quantum theory. Psychoanalysis, for example, is a Newtonian conception of our psychological mechanisms. Notice that we speak of unconscious mental mechanisms, and think of the libido in the same way as Haeckel thought of the energy of the universe as blind, unconscious. Psychoanalysis is really psychohydraulics because of its analogy between psychic energy and the flow of water. In all this,
That's where I live.
Scott.
Because every religion is this so fucking obvious. They are written by human hand. Do you know what that means?
So what do I do with this? Just
Hey,
put it in the mail?
if somebody meets Scott, he's gonna say like some private information.
It doesn't matter.
Then I'll bring it in.
Meet Scott. Meet Scott.
Is there a pen right here? I have a pen in here.
King was
I'll just fill it out over there. Can I drop it in the mail here somewhere?
Hey, Marshall, can you meet Scott? There you go.
gosh, there's no gosh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you want?
Because I want to say like a couple of sentences or something like that.
Okay, just a couple of sentences, go ahead.
Yeah, just it's so fucking obvious. It's for book is written by human hand. It's so fucking obvious. Just how can you believe that kind of shit I don't even understand because it's nothing matter. It's just it's kind of
Get a haircut.
Bible or Quran or
The intellectual. Get a
whatever.
haircut.
You know, it's so fucking obvious. It's written by human hand. How can't you see? Are you
Well,
stupid?
didn't you just tell us that like you're planning to give birth to a baby Jesus in the future, but also you're a virgin?
That's the most like unbelievable thing.
Yes,
Because
that is very
it's
unbelievable.
okay for it. Yes, so
Well,
fucking
well then just
unbelievable.
apply
How
the
can you
words.
believe
Just
that?
apply the words you just spoke. It's unbelievable, right? So apply that to anyone who believes in any religion. Apply what you just said to any religion.
Yeah, that's why
Why
I'm
not?
saying any religion is so fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? Because they are, all of them, they are so fucking stupid.
Why? How?
Yeah, you
Why?
may
It's
consider
so
them,
fucking
you may
obvious,
consider
because
them
I'm
dumb, but humans have
trying
needed
to
religion
say,
for their entire
if
time on the planet.
if I'm a virgin, I had no sex, and I'm giving a birth, oh, son of God.
That's so fucking stupid.
Are you okay with that?
Didn't you just? Am I okay with what? Did you say that?
Are you okay with that?
I don't think
You don't believe God can create miracles?
Because you're okay with that.
No, let me ask
It's
you a
fucking
question.
stupid.
No, let me
July
ask you a
February
serious
23rd,
question.
2027,
If there
Chicago
is
mayoral
knowledge
election. I
beyond
need
your
your like, your
comprehension,
comment, and your
does
share.
it exist?
We're here
I'm farting.
in the Buttercup Canary Mission. We're talking
It's a
to
serious
Jews
question.
in Israel,
If
in
there is
America, who
knowledge
are
beyond
concerned
your
about
comprehension
security.
or the ability to
A lot of
understand it,
conversations
does
about
it exist?
anti-Zionism and
You
genocide.
claim like
Important topics, but
No,
that
it's
doesn't
not your
address
question.
Chicago's $100
What I'm
million
questioning is, do
debt
you believe
and Illinois' $200 billion
that
debt
like
doesn't.
someone in the
For the
17th
$100
century,
million Chicago Police
the
Department pension
knowledge they
payments
had to
monthly.
work with then,
Anyone
if they didn't understand computer works or how this app works that we're currently on, would that preclude someone from creating this? And you're making the same assumptions because I can't touch, I can't feel, I don't have the baseline understanding to comprehend. It cannot be. Is it not? Is that not what you're doing?
Someone in that century, by the way, English is not my first language.
That's clear.
If we were talking about Turkish, I will be in like 9 seconds or something like that. I'm sorry about my English, but just it's so fucking obvious. It's written. I'm not just only talking about Quran or something like that. There is so many stupid people in America, like they still believe like they don't use electricity or something like that. They are
Amish isn't a belief. It's a
Well,
way of living.
let me ask you this. At the point of being redundant, again, do you believe that all knowledge and understanding of everything in existence resides within you?
I don't.
Are you all knowing of everything that could be?
No.
Well, that has to be your presupposition on your articulation. That if I can't possess it, I can't understand it. Therefore, it cannot be.
In this universe, everything is randomly regular. You know what I mean? I'm sorry about my poor English, but just everything is randomly regular. Do you know what I mean?
Based on what?
Based on what? Based on people, based on Earth, something like that. Because I can.
Are you an astronomer? Are you a chemist?
Are you an astronomer or a chemist?
Shut the fuck up. Just
Oh, here we go.
This is not
I
a,
can
this is not a great conversation.
I can like a triangle, nothing, and I believe that kind of
Daria.
triangles or something like that.
Daria.
And I can ask like to prove it. It doesn't.
Daria.
It doesn't have or something
Daria.
like that. No,
Daria.
it is
Daria.
so
Hey, Daria, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't think this is the room for the particular conversation you're having right now. About the truth of the Bible, about the truth of the Bible, about all that stuff. I don't think that's the kind of room this is.
I mean,
Okay.
there are a couple of rooms in there. What kind of room is
Yeah, I would agree, Daria. If you want to participate in the conversation, please do. I believe that. No, that's not. No. It has nothing to do with scope.
You have the best.
We didn't ignore
Stay
you.
over here or something like that.
Alright, well, back to what you
was crazy Kitover. I mean, look, we're clearly the best in soccer globally right now, so. My question again is there a consensus to the top of the room?
We've got people on both sides. I think we're left and right.
I think I've said, and Caleb and others said that it's the horseshoe effect, right? I mean, it seems that we're meeting, the right and the left seem to be meeting in the bottom of the horseshoe here on some level. Like I was saying before, there are times when Tucker Carlson sounds like some kind of woke person from Portland, and then there are times where the people from San Francisco or Portland sound like some right-wing white nationalist sort of, Klan members. It's very unusual. It's very strange. We're in a strange time.
Thank you. Your acknowledgement is appreciated. What's your
The Chicago mayoral candidate John Kitover running on the February 23rd, 2027 Chicago mayoral election. I need your like, your comment, and your share. Here in the Buttercup Canary Mission, we're talking with Jews in Israel, in America, who are concerned about security. A lot of conversations about anti-Zionism and genocide. Important topics, but that doesn't address Chicago's $100 billion
On my way to interfaith
and
lunch.
Illinois' $200 billion debt.
Excellent.
Which mosque are you going to?
The Union Islamic Center of something. Yes, it is.
Patterson? You're on the way to Patterson?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, close enough.
Jersey?
I think this is mostly. An India, subcontinental mosque than it is Arab.
Just interfaith, interfaith used to be Jews and Christians getting together in a church. Now it tends to be Jews and Muslims getting together in a mosque.
A bunch of Christians there today, for sure. The guy.
Yeah, but the majority of people will not be Christians.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, please let me know.
What's your religious belief that leads you to something like this?
That leads me to interfaith gatherings.
Yeah, correct. I mean, what do you drive out of it?
What? I'm not understanding the question. What do I get out of it?
Yeah, in a nutshell. I mean, what do you get out of it?
I think being a good neighbor is a good thing. I think knowing the people in your neighborhood is a good thing. I think when I look at the problems facing the world, a lot of it is about alienation from each other. So I hope in some small way, in some small local way, I'm contributing to some bigger effort of knowing each other better. When we know each other better, we'll disagree better. Maybe we'll kill each other less.
Caleb,
So
I hosted
better understanding. A better understanding.
I hosted one of the interfaith gatherings in Bucks County, like in our little Langhorne area. And man, I was determined not to have a shitty hosting job like the Methodists. It was just like shitty cold cuts. So, I went all out. These clergy people have never eaten so good as what I hosted. I wanted it remembered. Because, I remembered. I'm like, those shitty Methodists, this was shit. So I was like, I don't want them to walk away and think that about me. So I went all out.
That's right, because you learned what your golf coach told you, right? That you might be the only Christian these people have met.
Exactly, right? You remember that, right? Right, exactly. I was like, I might be the only, exactly. I was like,
the only Methodist.
Yeah, fuck them. I'm going to really blow them away.
Well, these gatherings are potluck to try to accommodate allergies and different food.
Just no bacon. No bacon.
Yeah, people are not bringing. The request is for people to bring dairy or vegetarian. Add label. Let us know if it's gluten free, etc. That seems to be working.
Norm, would you go to such an event?
I don't know if he knows the thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, why could you not bring bacon?
Because it's haram or not allowable for the Muslims, and the Jews can't eat similar.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring bacon into a mosque. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that seems like the only side you're respecting is one side.
No, the no bacon is for more than one.
Yeah, it's 2 out of 3.
Participating. Yeah. Think about it like this. Think about it the same way as gluten-free or food allergies or things like that, right? Like, I don't know if it's... I don't get this right address. You would want to be respectful.